What if I told you that becoming a better investor is not about finding the next hot stock? It is about avoiding the mistakes that blow up accounts every single day. Today I am giving you the full list, the traps that wipe out beginners, and what to do instead. Stay to the end, because the last one is the mistake almost everybody makes. Number 1. Day trading. If you do not know what you are doing, day trading will blow your account. Period. You are competing against professionals, algorithms, and people with faster information than you. Most beginners who day trade lose money. You do not need to trade every day to build wealth. Number 2. Margin. A margin account is a trap waiting to happen. Think about it. You have $5,000 of your own money, and your broker offers you $10,000 more. Now you are controlling $15,000. That sounds powerful, but leverage cuts both ways. A normal red week that you could ride out with your own cash can now trigger a margin call and force you to sell at the worst possible time. Margin is how accounts get blown, fast. Let me walk you through exactly how this plays out. Say you put in $5,000 of your own money and borrow $5,000 on margin. You buy $10,000 of stock. Now the stock drops 30%, painful, but survivable, right? Not on margin. Your position is now worth $7,000, but you still owe the broker $5,000. Your actual equity is down to $2,000, you have lost 60% of your money on a 30% move. And if your equity falls below the broker's maintenance requirement, they do not ask nicely. You get a margin call, and if you cannot deposit more cash, they sell your shares for you, at the bottom, and lock in the loss. The same 30% dip with your own cash? You hold. You wait. Maybe you even buy more. That is the difference. Leverage does not just multiply your gains, it takes away your most powerful weapon as an investor, the ability to wait. Number 3. Options trading, especially short-dated options, and especially options on margin. Zero-day and weekly options are lottery tickets. They expire worthless more often than not. Now, there is a smarter way to use options if you really want exposure: leaps. Long-dated calls that give you a year or more for your thesis to play out. But even better for most people? Skip the options completely and swing trade instead. Buy shares of a company you believe in, 100 shares, 200, whatever fits your budget. Shares have no expiration date. When the stock runs up, take your profit, or at minimum take your initial investment out, and roll that capital into the next opportunity. That is how you grow a portfolio without a ticking clock working against you. Number 4. Reacting to every single move. The stock is down today? Sometimes the best move is to do nothing. Markets go up and down. You will be up one week and down the next, that is normal. If you react to every red day, you will sell low, buy high, and slowly bleed your account out. Instead, keep dry powder. Keep cash sitting in your brokerage account. Red days are not emergencies, red days are opportunities to buy your favorite companies on sale. And let me tell you how I personally handle red days, because this took me time to learn. When the market opens deep red, I do not open my portfolio first. I open my watch list. I look at the companies I have already researched, the ones I have been waiting on, and I ask one question. Did anything actually change about this business today, or is the market just having a bad day? If nothing changed about the business, that red day is a gift. And I scale in small, never all at once, because red days tend to come in groups. I will be honest with you. The buys that felt the worst at the time, the ones on the ugly, scary red days, those have been some of my best entries. Train yourself to see red differently, and you are already ahead of most investors. Number 5. Never taking profit. Listen to me. There is nothing wrong with taking profit. If your stock is up 50%, up 100%, take some off the table. At minimum, pull your initial investment out. Now you are playing with house money, and you can put that capital to work in the next growth opportunity. Nobody ever went broke taking profit. Big money does this constantly. If a fund is up 20% on $1 million, that is $200,000 in profit, and they will happily take it and pay the tax. Profit is the whole point. Do not round trip your gains back to zero waiting for more. Number 6. Chasing stocks that are going straight up. This is the emotional one. You see a stock up 50%, up 100% in a day, and you feel that pull, I have to get in, I am missing it. Stop. Look at the chart first. A chart going straight up is a scary chart, because nothing goes up that does not come down. The people who bought early are taking profits, and if you jump in at the top, you become their exit liquidity. You become the bag holder. If you really like the stock, wait. Give it 2 or 3 days. Let it cool off, let the early buyers take their profit, and let it come back to a level. And if it runs away without you, let it go. There will always be a better trade coming. That is why they call it Wall Street. There is always another trade on the street. Missing one trade never blew up an account. Chasing one did. Number 7. Buying without doing research. Do not buy a stock just because I mentioned it, or because somebody on the internet is hyped about it. Before you buy, know the business. Is it profitable, or is it losing money? How much debt is it carrying? Can it survive a rough stretch? What is the trend of the industry it is in? And here is the good news, the tools today make this easier than ever. Take the company's earnings report, drop it into an AI tool, ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, whichever you use, and have a real conversation with it. Ask it, why should I buy this stock? If you were an investor, would you invest in this company? What are the risks? 10 minutes of that beats 0 minutes of research every time. And follow the big trends. Right now, the money is flowing into AI. Invest where the world is going. Number 8. Chasing cheap stocks instead of quality. A $5 stock is not automatically a better deal than a $300 stock. Cheap usually means cheap for a reason. A well-established, profitable business at a fair price will beat a speculative penny stock you cannot even verify is a real business. Remember this, sometimes it is better to make a slow dime than a fast nickel. Slow, steady, quality, that is what compounds. Number 9. Ignoring the news and the noise around it. You have to follow what is moving the market: earnings, the Fed, big macro headlines. But also understand that a lot of what you see is noise. Financial media runs on fear, because fear gets clicks. Some negative headline drops, a stock tanks, and sometimes that is big players shaking out weak hands so they can buy in cheaper. There is even a running joke among retail investors about doing the opposite of what the TV pundits scream about. So here is the play: when bad news hits a stock you have researched and believe in, do not panic sell, but do not rush to buy the first red day either. The first dip is usually not the bottom. Wait. Day 3, day 5, day 7, let the news settle. Then scale in, little by little, buying a bit lower each time. That is how you turn other people's panic into your entry. Number 10. Buying on green days and having no plan. Do not buy a stock the day it is already up 10%, that is chasing. Buy on red days. Red days are your discount days. And before you ever click buy, know your plan, why you are buying, at what point you will take profit, and at what point you would admit you were wrong. If you cannot answer those 3 questions, you are not investing, you are gambling. And one more mistake before the bonus rules, because this one sneaks up on almost everybody. Number 11. Ignoring taxes on your gains. When you take profit, the taxman takes his cut, and how much depends on how long you held. In the US, if you sell a stock you held for less than a year, that gain is taxed as ordinary income. For a lot of people, that can mean 30% or more. But hold that same stock for more than a year, and it becomes a long-term capital gain taxed at 15% for most people, and even 0% if your income is low enough. That is a massive difference, for doing nothing but waiting. Now, do not let taxes scare you out of taking profit. A taxed gain always beats an untaxed loss. But know the rules. Set aside a piece of every win for the tax bill so April never surprises you. And if a position is getting close to that 1-year mark, ask yourself if waiting a few more weeks turns a 30% tax into 15%. Everyone's situation is different, so talk to a tax professional for your own numbers, but do not let this be the mistake you learn about the hard way. And 2 bonus rules that tie it all together. First, position sizing and diversification. Never put everything into one stock, no matter how sure you feel. Not every investment pays off, and that is fine. That is exactly why you diversify and never depend on one source of income. Second, consistency. Anything in this world that produces fruit requires consistency. Your portfolio will have down weeks and down months. Do not let it discourage you. Keep buying quality on red days, keep taking profit on the way up, keep putting money to work. Risk is part of life. Walking out of your house and driving to work is a risk. So learn to take smart, calculated risks with a long-run mindset. If you stay consistent, you will win in the end. Nothing good comes easy, but this is how ordinary people build wealth. Quick reminder before we wrap. Everything in this video is education and analysis, not financial advice. I am sharing how I think about avoiding mistakes, not telling you what to buy or sell. Always do your own research and make decisions that fit your own situation. That is the list. Avoid the account killers, day trading, margin, short-dated options, chasing, panic, and do the simple things: research, patience, taking profit, buying red days, staying consistent. Do that over and over, and your future self will thank you. It is never too early and never too late to start building wealth. See you in the next one.